Hey, and welcome to map 26 of Doom 2, The Abandoned Mines by John Romero. So this is the beta version of this level, and you'll struggle to find many differences between this, nasty, this and the retail version of this level, just because John Romero seems, in all of his levels, there only seems to be texture touch-ups and a few items moved around. There doesn't seem to be like that many differences in his levels, and that kind of suggests that once he was done with them, someone else probably came in later and just kind of tidied things up. But as you can see, this is very much the level that you would play in the retail version, imps and all. I personally think this is one of the better Doom 2 levels, and the reason for that, let's just grab the ammo from here because it'll make it easier to fight this Caco Demon, is because I think this level's very good at punishing players who try to rush through it. So if you try to kind of gung-ho your way through this level, it's a level with great contrast because this part here is so tight and compact, and if all the Caco Demons and the chain gunners and the shotgunners make their way into this area, it's an absolute nightmare. But then in a bit you'll see the cave part, which is so huge, and it's a nice contrast. I think this level kind of balances the challenge of Doom 2 a lot better than some of the other Doom 2 levels we've already explored. So you can see here, these Caco Demons have chased us through the level, and they are trying to kill us. I mean, they're not going to do a good job, but there's a lot of spaces in this level as well where you can kind of do this ducking around the corner business and, you know, take out the enemies. As mentioned, in the retail version, you'd get a super shotgun at the start of the level, and in the PS1 version of this level, you'll see that it's there as well. But in this version, they obviously didn't. That kind of leads me to suspect that maybe this was done very early in development. This is one of the earlier levels because the super shotgun may not have been available at that point. But you can see how big this room is here. This is a very big room, and the toxic down there is nasty for players. One thing that they do change, and we'll talk about this in a bit, is that they move some of the teleporters around as well. But let's head into this secret here. Now I'm pretty sure some players have probably never even seen this part of the level, but if you turn around at the start of the level, you can actually come in here, and what you end up with is a route towards a plasma rifle, which is very useful if you're pistol starting this one. So yeah, we're left with a room full of lost souls here, which is pretty fun. So once we jump down here, the sides of the room will open up. We want to grab the plasma rifle, but we also want to grab the cell ammo there, just to make sure we can take out these guys with little trouble. Look at me taking down the Caco Demon there. I'm sure a lot of people recognize this level as well from the demos, because this is one of the levels that's in the pre-game demo cycle. And I remember watching this level and sort of seeing all the secrets and watching how you get to them before you even got near this final level. So a lot of the ways that I've kind of learned to play this level came from that demo, which is pretty interesting. There's a lot of these weird doors here, by the way. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of like fake doors like that look like walls. All of this is supposed to be extra, by the way. You don't actually have to come out here. So I'm guessing that they wanted to treat it like a secret, but for me it's a bit, you know, mean to put it on a lift like that. Hit this switch, you can go back into the start and come here and we're outside. So there is one notable change in this area, and you'll see it when we look down here. There's no barrels around the Mancubus. So that demo that we were talking about earlier on, the pre-game Doom 2 demo, he actually dies over there behind where the Mancubus is because he blows up the barrels, but obviously there's none here, so we don't have to worry about that. So just make sure there's no enemies sort of floating around. So this is a pretty nasty room because you've got floors that drop into the lava, and you've got a Baron of Hell there who will make very short work of anyone who isn't really paying attention. And you kind of have to fight him in the lava here, unless you've got the BFG, which we don't have, so you know. So first thing I'm going to do here is get rid of these Cacodemons. These Cacodemons are not friendly, they're not lovely. Let's not. Right, so we've taken down the Cacodemons. So if you flip this wall open here, there's actually 2 elevators here that you can access. Now, someone's going to tell me in the comments what that switch does. I don't know what it does. I'm sure it does something fun. But if you come on this side, you can actually grab the armor here, and there's a secret passage here that takes you out to a supercharge. Now, of course, supercharges are lovely, but the blue armor there was very much necessary if we're gonna sort of have an easy time at the end of this level. So there's 2 Barons of Hell here. I'm pretty sure in the retail version there's a Mancubus in here as well. So that's something that would be added in the retail version. This room's actually quite nasty when you think about it, because there's a lot of these enemies sneaking up on you. You don't really get a chance to sort of weigh up the room. And in the beta version here, there's actually no teleporters to get out of that pit. So if you fall into that lava pit down there, you're going back to the start of the level. I think that's very mean. I'm not a fan of traps like that. Taking care of the first Baron. So you can see, if we drop down here, there just is no teleporters. No teleporters at all. You just die. And, you know, it's one of those things where I'm kind of glad they changed that, because there's nothing worse than getting towards the end of a level and then falling into a bottomless pit that you can't get out of. It's a very Doom 1 thing. Doom 2 doesn't really have that many of traps like that, especially this late in the game, but like Doom 1 does have quite a few of those, so you can definitely see the influence in Romero's mapping there. At least in my opinion. You could disagree if you want. But yeah, we're pretty much done with this level here. As I said, it's a fun level. It's quite challenging from pistol start. This ending room, by the way, is different. It's normally you run into the pool in the middle and that ends the level. But I'm a big fan of the Abandoned Mines. As you can see, it uses the Blood Falls name, and it had the Blood Falls music in it, which, I mean, it just goes to show like how they were moving these levels around through development. But I do think this is one of the stronger levels for sure in Doom 2. Now, here's the PS1 version of this level, and immediately you can see Super Shotgun. So the interesting thing with this level is that it doesn't really make any notable changes, other than what we've kind of discussed in previous PS1 levels, where the roof has been kind of brought down at various points, so the level's a bit shorter in terms of height. And you can see that in several of the rooms, and I'll try and point them out as we make our way through the level. But we're coming here now because I think we need the plasma rifle. In this version, we definitely need the plasma rifle. But you can see that this level has made it pretty nicely across to the PS1 version. Performance-wise, that big room, you'll see in a bit, like causes absolute pandemonium for the frame rate. I think it's one of the few times when playing Doom 2 on PS1 where like you can genuinely feel the chug. But we'll get there. But now let's kill these lost souls. I'm going to try and draw this one over here so I don't have to like snipe him. Like that. The same trap as before. Grab the plasma rifle. Cacodemons come out. There are no Mancubus on this level, interestingly. So that's one enemy that didn't make the cut to this level. But there is a Hell Knight over there, so we will be taking care of him in a second. I'm a fan of secrets like this, like big secrets that really reward the player if they're willing to go exploring, because how many players turn around at the start of the level and click the wall behind them? Oh my god, that hurts. So we're going to grab the health pack over here. He hit the barrel next to me there and it nearly took me down, which, you know, not nice, not nice. So you can see a few of the enemies have now decided to all clump together here. Makes it a bit easier for me to take them out because they can just sort of shoot randomly into the room. The big problem with that chasm to the right here is that a lot of the enemies, once they're where you're here, they'll just make their way in, and it takes a lot of ammo to sort of stop that floor. So we'll take down the Cacodemon here. But again, one reason I like this level is that even though it's quite tough and the onslaught of the enemies is pretty, you know, relentless if you're pistol starting, it's very possible to kind of hide and sort of tuck around corners. Also love this, yeah. So that's in the PC version as well. That Cacodemon comes through the teleporter to the right there where the blue armor is. So if you go for that switch, you've got to be careful for that. So that switch messes around with this door here. So the chain gun up there is hitting me. I'm going to have to get rid of him. We'll be up there in a second anyway, so it's not like we're going to have to wait long to see him again. But this level is stuffed with optional extras, and I do like that. I do appreciate that, you know, the curious are given lots to do in this level. You can see this part is still here as well. Yeah, so lift puzzles on the PS1 are a bit more difficult because of the controls. Boo. Again, that leads back to the starting area. So we come outside here. It's basically the same area, but with, you know, I'm assuming a different texture. It's not as bright out here, obviously. So we'll take you down. Oh, if I can shoot you. So when you look down here, you'll see those barrels that I was talking about earlier. So those are the barrels that they put in. Obviously, there's a Baron of Hell here this time, so we're just going to take him out. So now we got to run across this toxic floor here, which, you know, is not the way you want to spend your day. But unfortunately, ThatNukemGuy doesn't get a choice in this. I'm going to grab some of these shotgun shells just in case we need them. So again, this room is functionally the same. So there's two Hell Knights in there, which, you know, we're going to have to take care of. Oh, there's the second one. Hello. So we're just going to take him out with the super shotgun here, which won't be that bad. Gonna just get rid of these cacodemons. As you can see from the way I'm playing this is exactly how I played the PC version of the beta, and it's pretty much, like I said, exactly identical to the level that, you know, you get on the PC. It's just the controls and the frame rate are not as optimal. So while we're here, I'm going to quickly show you. Just look. Oh my goodness. So I don't know if it's coming across in the display, but in this version of Doom, when the frame rate starts dropping, like, the controls aren't as nice, and when you're walking along a pathway like this, it's just So you can see there's a Hell Knight in the middle there. Oh, a bunch of lost souls still there. But in a second you'll see the teleporters that were put in. Those are in the PC retail version as well, so I think they made this easier, because I can't imagine that, like, they'd want people to get this far and then get that frustrated. Oh my god, really? So I'm just going to be careful here and get rid of these guys from a distance. I think I'm going to have to get a bit closer for this job. But Hell Knights are, you know, they're not that difficult to deal with. I just don't want to die at this point, because if we die at this point I have to do the whole level again, and that won't be super fun for me. So as soon as you grab this, you can see the cacodemons in the distance. It's nice that they kept this in as well. I think because this is a nice little challenge for players, because obviously you can't just run to the end of this room. You have to actually kill all the cacodemons or sort of jostle around them to get out here. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, overall, the Abandoned Mines for me are one of the stronger Doom 2 levels. I think this is one of Romero's better maps, in my opinion. And obviously that's not gospel. People can take that however they want. But for me, I think this is a nice blend of challenge. There's some great secrets. There's some really fun sequences in this level. I think it's one of the levels that's just the tightest in Doom 2 and one of the most entertaining overall. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the Abandoned Mines, and thank you very much for watching.